swings high in the air. This should be it. Texas should have the national championship. Bubbly back to make the play. The 1983 College World Series national championship team.
Back here in Omaha as we go to the fourth, Texas leading it 1-0. John Sciambi and Aaron Boone. And who was that baby-faced pitcher? Yeah, there's Casey there as we were joined here in the booth by Roger Clemens. How you doing?
Doing good, guys. Thank you.
What's it like to see that highlight back then, 83?
Well, that was a lot of hanging sliders ago. It was a lot of fun, though. Rosenblatt and Omaha bring back great memories.
That one ripped into left. Hinojosa's been a hot hitter. Gardner over to pick it up, and Hinojosa will stay put at first.
So I got to ask you, what's it like coming back to Omaha and now watching your son compete in this College World Series?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, you know, I know Texas has been here a lot, 35 times, I think they said earlier, but you know, our guys are underdogs. We're a young team, and to watch them fight and scratch to have the opportunity to get the regionals, super regionals, and get here was just a dream come true. You know, I give Casey tidbits here or there, but Augie does a great job with those kids, you know, give them inspiration and how to play the game. I've kind of bought into the game too, Booney, about, you know, right here you probably got to get him over, even though it's one of our hottest hitters at the plate.
Is it nerve-wracking for you watching Casey?
It's not. You know, one of my former teammates, Calvin Schiraldi, Lucas is on the team, and I know Calvin gets antsy when Lucas is pitching, and I try and hang with him to keep him calm, but it doesn't work. Casey may pitch a little bit next year, and I think if he pitches, I would be a little more uneasy, you know, when he was on the mound, because I know how difficult it is. Watching him hit and play first, you know, that doesn't bother me a lot.
What are your memories in terms of coming to Omaha and just the College World Series in general?
I just remember 82 getting so close. I think we lost to Miami, tied for third, something like that. Lost to Miami and went home. Our best player was Spike Owen, and Spike was going to be drafted, or he was drafted by Seattle. And losing him, he was our team leader, and I just thought that was going to be it for us. And thank goodness we had a very, very talented pitching staff, and we were able to work our way back and win it against Alabama.
Well, I got a little Roger Clemens story here. So I get traded over to the Yankees in 2003. Didn't know Roger, going to the American League all of a sudden. And I got to say, one of the joys of my career was playing behind Roger Clemens, because he was so focused. He would talk to his infielders. He would yell at me, "Hey, Booney, heads up right here, you know, you always on your toes, always positive with you." And the reason I bring that up is because in talking to the Texas coaches, all the good things we hear about Casey and the kind of teammate he is, the kind of person he is, and it kind of sets the tone really for this Texas Longhorn team and the makeup as a whole of their team.
Well, I agree with you, and great memory, Booney. I mean, same way with you. I mean, off the field, one way. And then once we're on the field, very, very competitive, and that's, you know, that's the way my game is. And but Booney's right. There would be times I knew what pitch I was going to throw, and I'd look over him and just give him a little look or a quick holler, and he was in great position. Same thing with Jeet. A lot of my infielders. It was fun staying in communication with them. Especially, I had some great backstops back there, some great catchers throughout my 24 years, and they paid attention to detail also. So you know, we loved it.
Texas leading here 1-0. John Sciambi, Aaron Boone, joined by the great Roger Clemens here in the booth. And as far as Casey's getting a chance to play first base, he has pitched. He's bothered by a shoulder impingement. What do you see his future as?
Well, I see his shoulder's great right now. I think he will throw a little bit this summer and then be ready to throw some next year. But, you know, he loves it down there. I mean, having an opportunity to start, and Augie went young with some freshmen.
Fly ball left. Gardner coming up. Look at the wind knock that down. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's another great example of why I think on a day like today, as the outfielders, you really got to move them in and dare them to hit over your head, because it's going to be hits like that that could make the difference in the ball game. That ball clearly probably would have hung up on a normal day. Gardner can't get to it.
Yeah, the wind really knocking that down. We talked about the importance of playing the outfielders shallow. Nothing Gardner could really do in that spot. So 2 on for Texas, and there's no one out. And here comes Madison Carter, their senior designated hitter.
Well, now definitely a bunting situation here for Carter, as he'll look to move 2 runners up into scoring position now with less than 2 outs.
Pulls the bat back. And look who's on deck.
It is. I mean, and the Louisville pitchers been featuring early in this game a very, very good changeup. Been staying down with it for the most part, and was able to get a few curveballs over as of late.
Yeah, he has. We heard a lot about his changeup. Obviously not an overpowering guy, but he has thrown a couple of good curveballs for strikes. But he's in a tough spot here. We'll see if he does 2-0 challenge him with a fastball. Not his best pitch.
See what he goes with in this spot. Kidston. And that one butted nicely to third. Chittenden gets the out. And 2 runners advance. Roger, in a spot like this, we talk so much about the hitters. If you're pitching with the wind blowing in, does that affect the way you're going to attack a hitter?
It does. Even the opportunity that Augie had me talk to the staff, you have to pay attention to detail when you're warming up in the bullpen and what the wind's doing. It may carry your breaking ball a little bit further than you would like. Somebody like myself with my split finger, it would really affect where my release point is with the split, because it's going to carry it another foot or 2 towards home plate. So we'll see what happens. Casey hitting here is going to be interesting, because you either want to pull the ball or get it in the air, but the ball's not traveling.
That one clips the corner to Casey Clemens, the first baseman.
Yeah, and with 2 runners out there in scoring position, they're going to concede the run in the middle of the diamond.
And Texas already leading 1-0. Count even up as he went outside and then back in.
Good pitch selection. I guarantee you Casey is not looking in. He's looking to cover.
And Casey's been very good all season long at that pitch selection. Despite the low average, he has walked a ton, and as a result, that on-base percentage is way up there.
He's got 2 in scoring position. Texas already leading.
Looked like a backdoor breaking ball, wasn't it?
Yep, and that's one thing he's been able to do today when he's really needed a secondary pitch to get in there.
Ooh,
that
okay.
curveball, maybe a little friendly strike there on the corner.
Clemens back in as Kidston is ready, and here we go.
There you
Up
go.
the middle.
Good job right there. Get down the line. Attaboy.
And a run in, making it 2-0 on the error by Sutton Whiting.
Well, with 2 strikes there, a really good job by Casey Clemens of shortening up, understanding that the middle of the field was conceding the run, just wanted to put it in play, and Sutton Whiting, an outstanding shortstop, kind of got himself a little in between hop, and Casey showed he can run a little bit better than his dad as he's hustling down that line.
I knew I couldn't come up without you getting a shot off on me. Oh boy, he does do that. Long safety in football, and his arm span, he's got me about an inch. That's why Augie's got him at first base. He's Spider-Man over there.
So now 2-0. Yeah, we're going to have a visit to the mound. Hey, some sad news today. The Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn passing. When you heard it, what went through your mind?
Heard it this morning when I got up, and it was shocking. I knew all the battles he was going through with his throat cancer and battling that, but just shocked because he's another one for me that when I played against him and we met under the stadium or away from the field, he was all smiles. I mean, for me, he's a guy out of the Kirby Puckett mold. Tony was fantastic, great. Casey has a great story about him. In the All-Star game in San Diego, we were underneath the stadium after I had worked my innings, and he was pulled out of the game. We met underneath in the tunnel. he had a game bat that he used, and he looked at Casey. Casey was just looking up, staring at him. He goes, "Here you go, kid." It was like one of those Coca-Cola moments. And Casey got the bat, and he could barely lift it. Casey was 6, 7 years old, and he gave it back to Mr. Gwynn. Said, "It's too big for me, Mr. Gwynn. I can't use this."
Well, that's funny because most of the times he would give a bat away, most people didn't think it was too big, famously using a small bat that he could control, but a wizard with that thing in his hand.
Just sad to hear, boys.
Yes.
I tell you. Casey's brothers jumped on him right away, though. Said, "No, Casey, you're going to want this bat."
Right?
Oh, look here.
They go squeeze, but not able to get it down fair.
Probably had about 4 grains in that bat too.
It was fun. You know, they used to tell me it was like Wade Boggs in All-Star games, how to get Tony out. There's no scouting report. Really just throw a 2-seamer down the middle and make him decide what he wanted to do with it.
Well, I said him and then Ichiro later were the 2 guys I felt like looked at where I was playing at third base, and that kind of was factoring into their game plan.
Good pitch.
I feel like everybody that encountered him as well, he treated everybody with kindness. There was kind of a gentleness to him, and yet a guy that was obviously really competitive and fiery.
Exactly. He knew what he was doing at the plate, let me tell you.
John Sciambi, Aaron Boone, joined by Roger Clemens up here in the booth.
Reset.
And Casey Clemens Longhorns leading it 2-0.
Play.
Casey knocking in the last run. An elimination game, first elimination game in this CWS.
Well, you can see these Texas hitters really battling today. In game 1, they struggled in these situations when they had opportunities. But Johnson earlier with a man on third and less than 2 outs gets the sac fly. Clemens with 2 strikes, able to put the ball in play in the middle of the field. And now Gerwitz here with a chance to really add to what's been an outstanding day for him on both sides of the ball.
Kidston ready and fires.
Pitch.
There's that changeup it looked like again.
Well, you know that's the pitch when Kidston gets in a jam, or the pitch he wants to go to is that straight changeup. The fastball is more if he can get ahead and locate it and then maybe try and fool you with it. But it's a very good straight change where you see the bottom just kind of fall out of that. Starts in the bottom of the zone, ends up almost in the dirt, and Gerwitz out in front of it.
Same action as a split finger right there.
When did you start throwing that pitch?
Later in my career, early in my career, I learned it from Mike Scott. You know, being from Houston, Scotty pitched obviously for the Astros, and Roger Craig.
Right side, Lucas collects, and that's the inning. But Texas adds a run. Roger Clemens, thanks for joining us.
Man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Rocky,
The
good to
Rocket,
see you, man.
Always.
Yeah. Enjoy the World Series.
Thank you, babe.
Texas on top. It's 2-0.